Good evening. Welcome to the August 4th, 2025 City Council meeting. Call to order, please. Oh, that's me. Roll call, please.
Blundy. Ernst.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Martin. Here. McIntyre. Moss.
Here.
Sluter.
Here.
And Smith.
Thank you. Now we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. We have no remote attendance tonight. We have no presentations, recognitions, proclamations, audience comments. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to make a public comment? All right, moving on. The consent agenda. We have one item on the consent agenda tonight. Oh, sorry. Number 7, review agenda. Deletions or additions, discussion items only.
Mayor,
Yes.
I've been unable to reach out to or get confirmation back from IDOT regarding the Candlewood Bridge repair. The bid award that we have on here, item number B under 10, we're recommending a bid award or a discussion on it. At this time, we'd like to remove the recommendation for a bid award until we get further communication with IDOT. If council wants to leave it on there to discuss the project as it sits, that would be fine. But at this time, we do not have a recommendation for a bid award.
All right, thank you. When we get to that item, I will go ahead and read it and ask if anybody has any questions or comments. I have to tell you, I'm a little bit not with the program tonight. So right before the meeting started, I wanted to talk about, or during the mayoral comments, I wanted to talk about the Sky Centennial that the Bicentennial Committee is putting on Friday, August 15th at 9 p.m. That's a really big deal, and I wanted to mention that, and I had to hustle, and my fellow alderperson found the information for me. So that's why I wasn't quite prepared. So I apologize. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. All right. Now the consent agenda. We have one item, approved the July 21st, 2025 regular city council meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve, Smith.
Second.
Motion to approve by Smith, second Moss. Questions or comments? Cast your vote, please. Unanimous approval, motion carries. Thank you. Next, mayoral communications requested items. A. This item A will fulfill or fill the vacancies for number 1 is the EDC and the appointments of Corey Allen, Kevin Beal, Mike Herzog, Drew Hillman, and Craig Salto to the Economic Development Commission. The item A, there's a memo attached which you can read about the persons who have applied for this commission. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second, Smith.
Moss makes a motion to approve. Smith seconds. Any questions or comments?
Mayor,
Alderperson Martin?
thank you. I just wanted to say, one, I'm really excited about this commission, and I have talked to all these people personally, and I recommend them, and I think we're going to have a really good crew here. Yeah, and I think everybody's got passion and is excited. Oh, and we tentatively are going to have our first meeting on the 12th if we can get a location locked down, if this all goes well.
Thank you. And To remind all that Alderperson Martin is the liaison with the council to the commission to Planning Director Oliphant. All right, cast your votes, please. Unanimous, motion carries. Thank you. Number 2, with these 2 appointments, that will, again, complete the Planning and Zoning Commission. I appoint Matt Collins and Thomas Breckland to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Ernst, sorry.
Second, Smith.
Motion to approve Ernst, second Smith. Questions, comments? Cast your vote, please. Unanimous, motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to B, August Let's Talk Washington. So we have a date and we have a location, we have a time. So that week is the beginning of the bicentennial week-long celebration. And so the Historical Society has agreed to our request to be having the Let's Talk Washington on August 13th at 8 a.m. at their headquarters there on the square. It's 128 Washington Square. So this will be advertised on the city's Facebook page and website. So we hope that we will have many people there. The next thing I want to talk about, well, there is no B&C because I realized after the fact I should have added these, but 2 things. The Bicentennial Parade is August 16th, and so there have been conversations about how the city is going to participate in the parade, and we will have 2 entries, and one of the entries is hopefully many of the current sitting elected officials will participate. The idea is, I'm just going to give you a rough idea here, this has been okayed with the fire department, so their ladder truck, you've seen the high school boys sitting on top of the ladder truck during the parades. Well, the theme for the parade is then and now. So we'll have City of Washington elected officials then and now on top of the ladder truck. So I haven't talked to every single person who's currently elected, but I will be, and so far we have a couple people who have said yes, and then I've talked to a couple former elected officials who have said yes, so I'm really looking forward to a good turnout. So that would be August 16th for the parade. Also, I have been working with David Houseworth for the 9/11 Remembrance Ceremony that we're going to have this September. More information will be coming about that later. All right, that's all I have. Number 10, City Administrator Communications, Staff Reports, Requested Actions. Oh, wait a minute. Should I say any questions? Any questions? All right, sorry. Okay, Dennis.
Thank you, Mayor. The first item under the City Administrator portion this evening is the council report from Friday. Are there any questions or comments regarding that council report? I would add one item that was shared in the council report was regarding the painting of the railroad bridge. In it, we were in belief that the muralist was going to finish over the weekend, but due to some issues with some of their projectors equipment, they were not able to finish over the weekend, so they will be doing it during the day this week. At the moment, we're going to continue closing it each day until we get kind of a final timeline on when they may be able to finish up. And then as soon as we get that rough timeline, we'll share it with council, and then we can put it out on Facebook as well. So that is a correction to the council report that I wanted to share. Outside of that, if there are no other questions or comments regarding the council report, we'll move on to item B, which is the Candlewood Bridge repair project. So this one, we did have a bid opening back on July 24th, 10 a.m. We only had one bidder at the time. We'd had 4 and 5 different contractors reaching out to us up until that point. And then when we only had the one bidder come in, we were a little bit disappointed. But reaching out to a few different contractors today, asking why they didn't bid. A lot of it comes down to this is a masonry project, and with asphalt as a roadway, there isn't enough percentage of the project to get to a lot of the different contractors in the area. And so with that, Autobahn is one of the only heavy highway masonry contractors that we have in the area, and so they were the only one that bid the project. A lot of the discussion that we had with Autobahn was why is that cost exceeding our engineer's estimate, and a lot of what we were kind of informed back was that it was going to require a crane to be kind of set down in the creek for long periods of time to help move the blocks that had fallen from the wall. They're too large for most of their equipment to pick, so it was going to have to do individual picking of the blocks with the crane and kind of setting them in place. So while the cost is high, our MFT account does have enough balance to cover it, but the resolution that we passed for the funding of this project was only for $356,188.25 or something in the neighborhood of that. So I'm trying to get confirmation from IDOT that we can amend that resolution, or whether we have to pass a completely new resolution, or whether they would even accept or allow us to award the bid, being that it is, quite a bit higher than what the engineer's estimate was. So right now we're just kind of in a place of uncertainty. So we're kind of back into IDOT's, kind of back into their corner of waiting for them to kind of get back to us and working through it with them. So at the time, we cannot recommend an award, but if there's any questions that I didn't answer in that, I might be able to, or I could take note of it and try to get you an answer back.
Just a couple comments, if I may. Yeah, I saw a note in the council report of some discussions of value engineering with this, with Autobahn as the contractor, and that obviously is a great first step. In our conversations, you mentioned the possibilities of making some materials changes, road bed and such that could change the complexion of the bidding process. I assume that, probably the contractor knew they were the only heavy highway masonry contractor, and that kind of negates some of the purpose of the bid process, not by any fault of ours or theirs, but so if there are any revisions that can be made to materials and such that would make it a more competitive bid process, I'd be all in favor of that.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, we can move on to the next item, which is the approval to increase the purchase authorization for the city administrator executive recruitment. And I believe that is Joni.
Thank you, Dennis. So we've discussed this a couple different times over the last few meetings. The last being when it was actually approved, the proposal with Jim Arndt Municipal Services. There were some concerns that were raised, and just kind of being responsive to those, staff did share some of those concerns as well. So I did reach out to Jim Arndt just to discuss the possibility of reallocating some of those services. He did not have a problem with that. The ones related to the job offer, he said those are ones he typically does, and those are the ones that we had a different understanding of what that meant. So again, was one that we felt was more appropriate for him to do. That would not change the cost, he said. However, the searches, the social media and news article searches, because he has staff members that do that, there was a slight increase to the cost. So he did send a revised proposal for $20,000, so it's only a $500 increase, but I wanted to bring that back to approve that increased authorization.
Do I have a motion to approve the revised contract with a total cost of $20,000?
Motion to approve. Second, Smith.
Motion to approve, Johnson, second, Smith. Any questions, comments? Alderperson Moss?
Yep, I just wanted to note, I had not voted in favor of this particular option our last meeting, and I think probably some of my concerns still stand, but I didn't want my no vote to be interpreted as a lack of appreciation for seeking out some revisions and improvements to the agreement. So appreciate that.
Normally, I don't know what the outcome of a vote is going to be before the votes are cast, but we have a somewhat unique situation tonight with 5 council members. And anytime there is not a majority vote due to, a lack of attendance, I think the mayor can vote. Because it's in effect a tie.
Clearly, if it's the will of the council from the last meeting, if I need to vote to support it, I'll do so. Yeah.
That would make for a much clearer record, but I am
No
not at
problem.
all
I think-
trying to
I think
influence
the
your
majority
vote.
spoke last week, so that's fine.
Fair enough.
Cast your vote, please. The vote is unanimous for approval. Motion carries. Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is the approval of the communication specialist employment. While the hiring and firing is normally done at the will of the city administrator, this was a discussion that we had had previously on the position, and our legal counsel felt like with as outward of a position as this is in the community, that the backing of a council vote on this would be a very strong movement moving forward. And so we have placed the offer letter, the accepted offer letter, on the agenda tonight for approval.
Do I have a motion to approve the communications specialist employment?
Motion to approve, Martin.
Second, Ernst.
Motion to approve Martin, second Ernst. Any questions, comments? Cast your vote, please. Unanimous approval. Motion carries. Thank you. There are no resolutions tonight. We have 3 first reading ordinances, and that's back to City Administrator Dennis Carr.
Thank you, Mayor. The first item this evening, the synopsis of which is the adoption of this ordinance, would approve a TIF redevelopment agreement with Washington Square Condominium North Unit Owners Association for the redevelopment of 101 Washington Square, by title, the 101 Washington Square TIF redevelopment agreement. Are there any questions at this time? Hearing none, the second first reading we have on the agenda this evening, the synopsis of which is the adoption of this ordinance would approve an agreement with Frank and Lucine Bray for planned building and property improvements at 1503 Washington Road, by title, Washington Commercial Building and Property Improvement Grant Program Agreement with Frank and Lucine Bray. Are there any questions on this item? Hearing none, the third first reading we have this evening, the synopsis of which is the adoption of this ordinance would approve an agreement with Cherry Tree Plaza LLC for planned building and property improvements at 1 Cherry Tree Shopping Center, by title, Washington Commercial Building and Property Improvement Grant Program Agreement with Cherry Tree Plaza LLC. Are there any questions or comments?
All right, moving on to second reading ordinances. Still Dennis Carr.
Thank you, Mayor. The first second reading we have on the agenda this evening, the synopsis of which is the following ordinance would approve and authorize the execution of a second amendment to a ground lease agreement and memorandum of lease agreement between the City of Washington and Cellco Partnership, DBA Verizon Wireless, by title, Former Blumenshine Property Cell Tower Lease Extension Second Amendment Agreement.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Smith.
Second, Sluter.
Motion by Smith, second by Sluter. Any questions, comments? Cast your vote, please. Unanimous approval, motion carries. Thank you.
The second reading we have on the agenda this evening, the synopsis of which is the adoption of this ordinance would strike Chapter 14, Article 2, Section 14 through 36, titled Demolition or Repair Lien from the Municipal Code. By title, Section 14-36, Code Amendment.
Do I have a motion to approve Section 14-36 Code Amendment?
Motion to approve, Smith.
Second, Sluter.
Motion to approve Smith, second Sluter. Any questions, comments? Cast your vote, please. Unanimous approval, motion carries. Thank you.
The second reading we have this evening, the synopsis of which is the adoption of this ordinance would approve an agreement with Precious Hospitality LLC, an Illinois limited liability company for planned building and property improvements at 1101 North Cummings Lane. By title, Washington Commercial Building and Property Improvement Grant Program Agreement with Precious Hospitality LLC.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve Smith. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second Ernst. Any questions, comments?
Mayor,
Alderperson Johnson.
I just wanted to make a few comments, and I'm placing it here because I think this was about where it was placed when Alderperson Blundy had some comments at our last meeting, and I just kind of, the comments he made and then some conversations that I've had with residents, I just wanted to make a couple of comments about this program. And I want to be really clear that nothing I'm saying is targeted toward any of the specific individuals or businesses that have pending grants. Nothing I'm about to say is changing the way that I have been voting. So it's just general comments. When I first ran for office, I am a free market lover, and I am philosophically generally opposed to taxpayer money going to private businesses. However, as I'm becoming more involved and more educated about this, I'm seeing that there are definitely benefits to the taxpayers when we help support small businesses. Our small local businesses are vital to our community. They provide jobs, they provide tax revenue, they attract other businesses when they are successful. And I also recognize that small businesses are often running on a very slim profit margin, and that little bit of help that government can provide can be the difference between a successful business and a business that isn't able to stay in business. I know Alderperson Blundy had discussed ROI, and I wanted to acknowledge that I recognize ROI can't always be tied to a dollar amount. But at the same time, I think it's really important as we're moving forward that there is a clear benefit to the taxpayer, and that can take lots of forms, not necessarily in the form of direct dollars, but in the ability of a business to hire more employees or to serve different populations. You know, if we have changes that would maybe make a business more accessible to those with disabilities, or make it safer for children and expand their ability to offer services and products. So really, my whole point is just that I am really looking forward to our upcoming goal-setting session and being able to see how we can make sure that this type of program really aligns with the comprehensive plan that was adopted by the previous council, and how we can work that all together to push that plan forward. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Cast your vote, please. Unanimous approval, motion carries. Thank you.
The last second reading we have on the agenda this evening, the synopsis of which, the adoption of this ordinance would approve an agreement with Christie LaHood Cape, doing business as Countryside Banquet and Catering, for planned building and property improvements at 659 School Street. By title, Washington Commercial Building and Property Improvement Grant Program Agreement with Christie LaHood Cape, doing business as Countryside Banquet and Catering.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second, Sluter.
Motion to approve by Ernst, second by Sluter. Any comments, questions?
Mayor,
Alderperson Moss?
I was a little slow on my button finger here because I had something to add, but it applies all around. I agree. I think we can continue to improve this program. I think there's ways we can tighten it up to make sure that we're doing the most with the money and that the community is seeing a benefit to the beautification of our thoroughfares and the viability of our businesses. So I look forward to doing that in the future. As far as these two go, obviously I voted to approve the previous one, and I'll do the same here because I do believe that the businesses who applied for this grant did so, as it stands today, and complied with everything we've asked them. So I look forward to continuous improvement as it relates to this program.
Thank you. Any other comments? Cast your vote, please. Unanimous approval, motion carries. Thank you. Number 14, Alderperson comments.
I'm sorry, Mayor.
Yes, Alderperson Martin.
So I just wanted to add, so the next Tuesday, the August 12th, tentatively, if we can lock down our location to have our first meeting for the Economic Development Commission. It won't be anything exciting, just getting everybody together, going through our core objectives and putting together our plan of attack. But so then I will let you guys know how it goes.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, no other alderperson comments. It is time for adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Smith motions to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second, Sluter.
Second by Sluter. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned at 6:57 p.m. Thank you.
Short one.
I think you probably, Mark. She snuck in on me. I think after all that went down, I thought,
Yeah, so I was like,
figure out the math.
I was confused as well. Okay. I think that made us so we were unanimous on everything.